What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We had an interesting day in the market today. We saw a lot of hype with electric vehicle stocks like NIO and Tesla. Tesla broke all-time highs today, and NIO had a pretty solid day too, up about 7.5%. In this video, we're going to go over everything that happened in the market today and what we are eyeing out for in the market for tomorrow. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. And with that being said, Tom, let's get right into today's video.
For sure, yeah. The market it really went up today, and then actually started coming back down once futures opened up here. But it was really nice to see the market go up, and this was because the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell agreed to resume negotiations with Democrats over a potential new COVID-19 relief bill as cases continue to surge around the country. CNBC reports, and they said that the market really swung to the upside as soon as the news dropped, and we have been waiting for a stimulus for a while, as millions will lose unemployment benefits at the end of the year. There was another article that came out that said 12 million people were going to lose unemployment benefits if they don't get a stimulus done by the end of the year. So there's definitely a lot of pressure for them to get it done. And you can see that once that news dropped today, right around 1:30 p.m. Central Time or 2:30 Eastern Time, you can really see that the market gapped up right there as soon as that dropped.
Despite all of the volatility in the political environment, you can say, I just really hope we get a stimulus deal passed soon. It would be really good for just the economy overall. The sooner we get that, the better. I know we've been saying that for a while, but hopefully we just get one soon.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of, the virus and all that stuff, the CDC is urging Americans against traveling for Thanksgiving as coronavirus outbreak worsens. At least they aren't stopping flights, but if they stop flights, some airlines could get hurt. And the CDC now projects that newly reported COVID-19 deaths will likely increase over the next 4 weeks, with 7,300 to 16,000 new deaths likely to be reported in the week ending December 12th of 2020. And that's a lot of numbers, 7,300 to 16,000 deaths. And that's a pretty big gap. But if we saw 16,000 deaths within that 1 week, that would be a pretty terrible number, given the overall numbers.
True. I mean, you mentioned airline stocks. Looking at certain stocks like AAL, DAL, LUV. I know there's a couple other ones, but we could see LUV, which is Southwest. They've recovered a decent amount from their lows back in March. But looking at American Airlines, I mean, it's not looking good. They hit lows of around $8.25. They're still sitting right around $12.80, but it's definitely not looking good for them. If we do see cases start to tick downwards, and if we do see another stimulus deal, that can definitely help these stocks. But right now, they're not looking the best.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were actually against helping the airlines in the stimulus deal. Like, a lot of the fighting in the political climate was about the airlines getting money or not, and the airlines were really lobbying hard to try to get money into those packages.
True. And then, Tom, what happened with Tesla today?
Yeah, Tesla reached an all-time high, which is awesome. All the way up around 508.61 was the high, and it was awesome to see him break that $500 level, which is pretty key, and a lot of people did not think that this was going to happen. And as they broke all-time highs, though, an article came out that says Consumer Reports is no longer recommending Tesla's Model S and is planning the reliability of the new Model Y. So there could be some problems with the reliability of Teslas, and they actually have a chart that shows the reliability pretty much upon Consumer Reports. So this is pretty much them rating the car brands based on reliability and all that stuff. And you can see actually at the bottom we have Lincoln, Tesla, Volkswagen, Mini, Ford, Cadillac, and Mercedes-Benz. So that's all the bad, some of the worst recommended cars by them. And to me, that sounds like a pretty good list of cars, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think this article is going to have much of an effect. I mean, Tesla just soared past all-time highs today, so it might be a little bit of bad press, but it's definitely not stopping Tesla. I mean, they still have a ton of momentum, but the main thing I'm looking out for is that $500 level. We mentioned that yesterday, and we can see, yes, we did break above that $500 level today, but we didn't stay above it too long, and we actually closed below that level too. So the $500 level is just a big psychological barrier. A lot of big levels like that are 400, 450, 500. You can even look at the Dow, like Tom mentioned yesterday. It was a perfect example. The Dow has not broke above 30,000, and it's just a big psychological level. And I feel like the $500 area is the same way as the Dow with the $30,000 level is.
Yeah, definitely. Those key numbers normally do pose as pretty big resistances usually.
Yep. So now let's get into our Discord member of the day. And today's member of the day is C Money. So Tom, you got to pull up his chart. He actually made a great post. He said, "Thanks, Mike and Tom. It's been a great week." He made about what is that? About 10 grand.
Yeah, about 9,700, 10 grand, and he's up 32.49% this week alone on his whole account, which is awesome.
That's awesome. I'm not sure exactly what plays he's trading. I mean, I would think it's something maybe with the electric vehicle stocks or something. I don't know, but great job, C Money. It looks like you're doing a pretty good job. And what I like the best is I said this with yesterday's member of the day too. Is it's not like it's just one trade that's just taking him like a straight vertical line. Like he has a nice profit on Monday and then another nice profit on Wednesday and Thursday. So it's nice to see that kind of consistent growth rather than just one solid trade. So great job, C Money, and keep it up. If you guys want to join the Discord chat, it's the first link in the description down below. Tom and I post completely free day trades every single morning, and you can network with about 11,000 other traders. So now let's get into our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is AMD.
Yeah, AMD, this one's going to be to the upside, and there's actually a lot of people and a lot of volume going into AMD today. Watch for them to pop above 85.77.
Yep. And then with the next one, we have NIO.
Yeah, NIO. Of course, this one is one of the hottest stocks right now. Another one where they had a very good close today, very strong up at highs, but make them break above 49.
Yep. And then with the next play, we have WFC.
WFC, make them pop above 26.25.
WFC had a really good day today. I mean, some of these banks are starting to recover. I know Citigroup is, JP Morgan is just a little bit. Bank of America is kind of following JP Morgan, but WFC I know was one of the more beaten down bank stocks, you could say, and they're starting to creep up there. Looking at them on a daily chart for the past year, I mean, it looks pretty decent. So I definitely have my eyes on them.
Yep.
With the last play, we have Roku.
Roku, yeah, this one's going to be to the upside as well. Make them break right above 257.50, and this one's actually a pretty good wedge pattern.
Yeah, and they actually broke all-time highs today.
Oh wow, so yeah, I mean that explains it right there. Oh yeah, look at that, 257.49. Yeah, you can see it just barely broke, and I really like that they did that, and hopefully they can continue up. And man, Roku has been just one of those killer stocks over the past few years. I mean, you can see they really went from like $33 all the way up to 257, and that's just crazy.
Yep. And then with the unusual options activity for tomorrow, we are looking at the NEO 50 strike call options that expire next Friday, November 27th. There was just under $9 million put into that play today. NIO has that momentum, and we all know when NIO has like a setup like this, it usually continues to run. NIO is, I don't want to call it like a complete powerhouse, but they have a ton of momentum right now, and they actually pulled back a little bit on earnings. So this might be where we possibly might see NIO retest highs. What are you seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I could easily see them retesting highs, especially with the good close and all the momentum that they have had. I could really see this happening. The highs are around $54, so that's a pretty long way out from actually where we are. So we're at 48.60. You could get like a $4 move if you waited for it to cross above 50 or even $50.50 if you wanted to play it really safe. But to play it more of as a momentum trade, just make it break above that $49 level. That's a pretty solid resistance there as well.
I mean, the one thing I know for sure is NIO is extremely volatile. So whether we see this thing retest all-time highs or if we see it break down, it's going to be definitely really volatile.
Yeah, and I would expect it to have a lot of movement in pre-market tomorrow morning as well.
Absolutely. So now let's get into our questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have William saying, "How's Twitter looking?" So, Tom, what do you think of Twitter?
I'm actually pretty bullish on Twitter here in the short term. I kind of like it. Let's go to the daily chart. Yeah, and on the daily chart, you can see that they hit all-time highs, and then they pulled back, and now they're starting to bounce back up, and it looks like they're really straddling this pretty good support right around 4250, 4260 levels. I really like this, and I was actually talking about this today. I'm really looking at this maybe to fill this gap back to the upside, or at least possibly a move back up to $48. I think that could be a pretty safe move. But just just be careful trading it. It's a pretty volatile stock, and it did hit all-time highs and pull back pretty hard.
Yeah, Tom and I were actually talking about this a little bit today. It looks like Twitter has a really good risk reward ratio, so I definitely have my eyes on it as well. And then we have Sean saying, I love it when Tom breaks out the SPCE. He gets a little giddy about it. Great video as always.
Yeah, and SPCE once again today, they skyrocketed in the middle of the day and hit highs of around 24.34, and that's not all-time highs, just highs of the past couple weeks. But it's just awesome to see them break out of that little channel that they were in yesterday, and I really like the movement that they have. And just like NIO did, they also closed very strong, and on the daily chart, they're also running. So I think if SPCE breaks 24.50, I think they could really run tomorrow as well.
True. I mean, they do have some momentum. What other levels are you watching? Like any supports, any trend lines? What are you seeing?
Yeah, for supports on SPCE, I'm really I'm gonna be looking if they pull back. I'm gonna be watching for a bounce off of $22.50, which was the high of the other day. And you can also see that that's where they bounced whenever they pulled back, whenever they ran up on this run up here. So I'm gonna be looking for a bounce at $22.50 as a support, and as a resistance to break, I'm looking for $24.50. And I think if it breaks that, you can have a pretty safe run up to around $25.50 or even $26 for a quick day trade. And I think that would be pretty safe as well. And it's also a good risk reward, because if it does break those levels, like let's say 24.50, and then it falls down to 24.30, you can just get out right there.
True. Yep. And then we had Titan saying, "Can we get some info on Intel? I think it might go up soon." So let's take a look. Intel, yeah, I mean, they have a decent chart. I mean, they've been getting beat down for the past couple months. They had a pretty good day today. I can definitely see it rising in the next couple weeks or so. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like this. They're bouncing off of the support around 43, 42, and I actually have 100 shares of Intel. I started to average in. Once they pop down here, I'm in right around $46, so actually right around current prices. And I'm really looking for this for the long term, and I'm just averaging in. But I really like Intel, and obviously I think that with all the downwards momentum that they do have a chance to continue going lower. But I'm just averaging in, as I said, so I wouldn't go all in on this, as they have had some pretty negative news, losing some Apple contracts and different things like that. But I think that in the long term, they're due to go up, and I really like the momentum today, and I think that over the next couple days, you could see some green as well.
Gotcha. And then we have RL3 asking about Boeing. So we all know Boeing had a pretty solid run up the past week. I mean, it's looking to be doing pretty well. I mean, what do you see, Tom, for this stock for like maybe like the next couple months? Personally, I see a good possibility of the stock continuing up.
Yeah, me too, especially with the new good news of their new 737 Max jets. I don't mean the new jets, but the updated jets. They actually fixed them, so now they're not going to crash. So they just got unregulated, or ungrounded, you should say, yesterday. So that's great news. I think that that's going to help them with sales going forward. And as long as the airlines don't shut down again, I think that'll also help Boeing. But Boeing also has a ton of military contracts and stuff like that. So I don't think that they're going anywhere for the long term. And I think, honestly, right now, they're sitting on this trend line. And I think that if they do break above this and maybe pass above like 211, it wouldn't be a bad time to get in shares for the long term right here.
All right, so thank you for sharing that. And with that being said, even though Boeing does look like a good setup, of course, don't over leverage, don't put all of your money into it. But right now, it looks to be setting up pretty good. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I actually have a couple stocks that I'm watching, and the first one's going to actually be AMD. And this stock actually ran up at the end of the day and closed very strong in after hours. And it's also bouncing off the 100 SMA, which is very good for a technical level. And I really like this stock to the upside. I think there's a lot of potential with AMD, especially being in the graphics card market. and I really like they're actually coming up to a resistance around 87.50. So I'd be careful of that. But if you want to trade it up to 87.50, that could be a good option. Or if it breaks above that, you could go for another retest of highs, maybe around 94.28. I just really like AMD. It seems like a very hot stock and it has a lot of momentum. So if you're a momentum trader, definitely watch AMD tomorrow. And the next one is going to be Triple M, and I really like Triple M as well. You can see on a long-term level, going all the way back to actually 2018, you can see they hit a high of 259.77, and they have a really nice trend line where they bounce right here and then head actually way down. And then the trend line just continues on all the way to here, and we're starting to finally pass above that trend line and pass above these key supports at the same time around 163 and around 160. So I think 3M is at some big levels, especially for the long term. And this stock pays a decent dividend, and it's around $171. And the highs were $259. And they do a ton of stuff. They have they make COVID masks. They do tons of stuff like that. They also do packaging and shipping, like tapes and boxes. So they have a lot of stuff going for them. And I think it's just a good long term stock. And it's at very good levels right now as well.
Yeah, it's a steady blue chip Dow stock. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. As always, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. If you guys want to try out the options day trading bot, it's the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. If you guys want to join the free Discord chat for free day trades, it is the first link in the description down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.